everyone. This is Sarah. Welcome to our live video chat. I have something really fun and exciting to share with you. Those of you who have been following me for the last year or so know that sometime last year I lost my favorite mug. And guess what? When I was going through all my Christmas decorations, I found it. Isn't that a funny place for my favorite mug to be? Well, what had happened is I had made a bunch of those ugly sweater mug rugs, and I left one on, and then when I gathered up all my Christmas stuff, this got gathered up with it. I tore my whole yarn room apart, my closets. I went through any place that I had anything remotely related to yarn, and I found it. Of course, it wasn't where it was supposed to be, right? Well, welcome to our live video chat. Good morning, Michelle and Petra. I'm glad you're already clinked in. I'm a couple minutes early. It's really windy outside, and I was afraid I might have a little trouble connecting because I noticed that it kind of came in and out. So if you hear any wind, it's really windy here. It's so funny. Yesterday, it was 70 degrees here, almost 80. They said like, I don't know, 78 or something. I can't remember now. And this morning I got up and it's like 38. This is Colorado weather for you. They said we had some snow last night, but it melted so fast that it's gone. I'm really ready for some snow because I think this time of year we ought to start having some snow. Good morning, Susie. Everybody clink in. Clinky, clinky, clink. Well, I actually was going to have a Christmas mug today because it's after Thanksgiving and we need to start thinking about Christmas and holidays and all of those type crafts. But I was just so excited, like I said, that I found my mug. So anyway, click in. All right. So are some of you getting a little bit stressed about all the crochet projects that you have? I think right after Thanksgiving, I go into like this mode of, I've got to get all my decorations made, and I've got to get all my gifts made, and I don't know if I have the yarn, and I don't know if I have the buttons, and all the things that needs doing. Well, we can get ourselves totally stressed out, can't we? And, you know, crochet doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time when you want to make something nice for someone, or a new nice decorative thing for around your house. If you're going to make a set of 6 placemats, you can't do that in one day. So, good morning, Lisa. Clink in. Well, anyway, I've kind of come up with an idea of how to help us not be stressed. And I did this last year, and it really worked great for me. If you're a list maker, like Santa Claus, he always makes a list, so why can't we, right? So what I do is I get a notebook like this, and I keep these around anyway because I'm always jotting down crochet design items, new yarns, and things that I happen to spot online or in the stores. And so what I do is I make a list. And the first thing I do on my list is I write down all the names of the people that I want to make something for. For instance, you can see there's some names. Susie, Betty, Joe, Granny. I just put those on there. I don't even know those people. But you put their names on a list. And then you go through and you decide what you want to make for each person. For instance, if you want to make Granny a pair of slippers, or Susie a new hat, or maybe Betty a little stuffy doll. A stuffy is the same as an Ammy. I just call them stuffies. Got a tickle. Okay, and then you go through, and after you've got your list of names, and you've got your list of what you want to make for them, the next thing you need to do is check your yarn and check your supplies. Do I have the buttons for the dress? Do I have the ribbons for the hat? And you write all that stuff down and just jot it down in your notebook. Okay, so that's one list. And then you go through that list and you decide which ones are going to take me longer to make. If I'm making, say, a blanket for a baby at Christmas, that's going to take longer than maybe a headband or a hat. And so I recategorize the most important people in my life, the most largest projects that I want to make for them, and do I have the supplies? Okay, so that's one list that I make. The other list I make is the decorations that I want to make. If I want to make a whole set of new stockings, that's going to take a while. But if I'm just going to make some little ornaments, maybe some snowflakes or something for my tree, I could probably do that in an evening. And so I'll make another list. I'll put up here, like it says, tree skirt, stockings, star ornaments. And then I put next to it, do I have the supplies? Yes or no? And what do I need? Do I need white sparkle yarn? Do I need glitter spray? You know, all those things, and you put what you need. And then you go back through and you categorize. Well, do I really have time to make those 6 stockings? I may not. So I may have to wait until next year or maybe next spring and start on them to get around, because I do Christmas stuff all year long. And so that's kind of what I do. I categorize the decorations, the time it's going to take, and it's always just a rough estimate. Don't think you have to put, 4.5 hours, Okay, it's going to roughly take me 5 hours to make a stocking. Okay, so if I'm going to make 6, that's a lot of time. Do I have enough time? And do I have enough yarn? And so you go through and you kind of decide if you have the things that you need and the most important things. Okay, so then you go through and you go write down, okay, so I need the red sparkle yarn and I need the white fuzzy yarn for the tops of the stockings. I need this. Do I have the crochet hook for this pattern? And you go through and you make yourself a list. And then you go and get what you need. I also, when I go through my yarn stash, I separate all my Christmas yarns, not just the colors, but like if it's a sparkle yarn or a fuzzy yarn that I know I'm going to use for Christmas, I'll have it in a separate bin. But I also have them behind me, in all of this yarn. And so sometimes I'll go and check on those as well. And then I'll take all those and I'll take the pattern. I don't print off my patterns all the time, but for my Christmas projects, I sometimes do. And I'll take that pattern and I'll set it down. I'll get all the yarns and supplies that I need for that project, and I'll put it there with the pattern. And even the crochet hook, not the needles, stuff like that. But if I need beads or buttons or any of those things, I'll take all those things, and sometimes I'll put it in a zip bag, and I'll put it with that pattern. And then I have it laid out. And even though it kind of looks like a mess, it's actually an organized mess. Because I know each project has the pattern and the supplies that I need. And then I can write down in my notebook the supplies that I need. And then when I make my run to Hobby Lobby or Walmart or Joann's, Joann's is the best place to go if you need a whole lot of different kinds of things. Although I really love Hobby Lobby, but Hobby Lobby doesn't carry a wide variety of, say, Red Heart stuff and some of the other brands. They pretty much stick to their own brands. And so if you need a lot of things, I'll go and make the Joann crafts run. Now, I have a Hobby Lobby and a Michael's and a Walmart right here in my town. I live in Parker, Colorado, so I do have those. Joann's is up a ways. It takes me about 20 minutes to get there, but it's well worth the trip if I'm going to get a lot of things. And that's why a list is really, really important. I just saw Tina pop in. Good morning, Tina. Clink in. Okay, so you've made a list of all the projects that you want to make. You've made a list of all the people that you want to make these projects for. You've made a list of all the supplies that you're going to need. Hello, Debbie. Thanks for clinking in. Anyway, you've made a list of all these things. And then you look at all of this and you think, oh my goodness, all of these designs and decor that I want to make to decorate with, that's a lot of work. And then I have this other list of all these items that I want to make for people. Well, you need to look at it and just kind of give yourself a second. Maybe run a bubble bath, put some bubbles in there, soak and look at your list and think about it. De-stress. Because if you get yourself all stressed out, a lot of times what happens is you go too fast, you make mistakes, then you have to frog it. And if you don't know what frog it means rip it, rip it, rip it, rip it out. Because rip it sounds like ribbit. I do it too. But if we get ourselves so wrapped up in this and get so, where we're trying to go way, way too fast and get too much done, that's when we make mistakes and we have to start over. And then it takes up more of our time. So, just kind of sit back, take a look at your list and the supplies that you need, and just take it one step at a time. All right. So you've categorize the people in your life, you've categorized the projects, and just go through and if you go, you know what, I may just have to buy her something, there just isn't enough time to get that done. Something that I have done in the past is I will buy someone maybe a beautiful pair of earrings that about $20, nothing major, and then I'll put in there, I'm also working on a scarf for you, and that'll be after Christmas. And you can take a picture of the yarn. And it sounds so silly, but it's fun. And people who appreciate what you do with your crochet and with your designs and the time that it takes to make things, they'll appreciate the fact that you did buy them something because you love them, but also you want to make them something because you love them as well. And they'll understand that. And then they'll be happy with what you've done. And they'll be looking forward to something else, in the coming months. Because we get ourselves too overstressed. And I think it's a really great idea. And I have done that, and it's worked really well. And then when I finished that particular, the first time I did it, it was a cowl. And I was going to make a Christmas cowl, but because I was going to give it to them after Christmas, I ended up adding some other colors, and it turned out really pretty, and they really loved it. And they wear it all the time, and it really made me feel good. And so that's something that you can do. Another thing that you can do is if you see that you're just not going to have the time to get all of this stuff done, just don't do it. Don't stress yourself out. Don't ruin your own holiday celebrations because you're stressed out because you didn't get all the projects done that you wanted done. And that's why the list is really important. Like I said, there's just 4 weeks till Christmas, and if you're wanting to make 6 new stockings, that's a lot of time, And so you have to decide, is it this important? Or maybe I can do this spring to get them ready for next year. Because like I said, if you're all stressed out, worried about getting all your projects done, you're not going to have a fun time at all the celebrations. And then when you go to give your gifts, you're going to feel sad because you had to do something else because you got yourself stressed out because you couldn't give them the gift that you wanted to make for them. And so, like I said, you can buy them something and then put a note in there, or you can not put the note in there and surprise them later. And that works great too. Hi, Missy, you snuck in. I didn't see you. Susie and Doriana. Is it Anna? Doriana or Doriana? Either way, beautiful name. Clink in. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so here's a question for you. You've made your list. You're working hard on all the people you want to make something for. You're working hard on getting all of your projects done for your decorations. But what happens if they're not finished? And that's kind of, what I was just talking about. And so what you need to do is do not be hard on yourself. Do not stress yourself out. Don't get mad at yourself if you didn't get the project done. I have a tub that I have, and it goes up and down because every year at Christmas I have a large amount of things that I want to get done. If I don't get it done, I take that project along with the yarn that I was using for that project, and I put them together with, if I printed off the pattern, or if not, I might write on the label or on a piece of paper what pattern I used. And I'll put those things together, sometimes in a zip bag, like I've said in the past. I love my zip bags. And I'll put those in that tub. And then in the spring, or maybe even after January, when the Christmas stress has died down some, I'll pick those projects up again. And then I'll be able to work on those periodically through the year, and then they'll be ready for the next year. The main thing here is make lists, do the best to do the lists, but if you don't get them done, don't beat yourself up. Like I said, the people that really love you and appreciate what you do, they will love what you do for them. And if you don't get it done, like I said, you can always buy them something and then put a little note that said, I'm working on this, and show them a picture of the yarn. And I've had great results with that with friends and family, and they all loved that I did that, because at this stage in my life, they really do expect something crocheted from me, and that's just kind of the way it is. So the main thing I want you to learn is do not panic. Take your time and occasionally take a break. And something that I've learned when I'm working on, say, a large blanket or a set of placemats or stockings or something for any holiday, and I get stressed out because the holiday's getting close and the projects aren't done, sometimes I do set those aside and I'll pick up something small, like a mini mitten for a crochet pattern that hangs on the tree, or maybe just something little for my dogs or something. And then you can see a small project that's a finished project, and it can help to calm you down. Crochet can be very healing and calming. And you see, I always have, I guess it's on that side. I always have that sign up there. It says, keep calm and crochet on. And that's kind of my motto, because crochet is a thing for me that is healing and it is calming, and I can push the rest of the world out and just crochet and think about the project that I'm doing. So the main thing, like I said, is to be calm. Don't let it stress you out, and just take it one project at a time. And remember, if the people really love you, they will understand if you don't get all your projects done. And that's kind of my talk for today on how to de-stress your crochet Christmas and holiday celebrations. All right, so let's talk about what's new this week at Posh Pooch Designs. Well, one of the things that I got done on Friday, or was it Monday? What day is this? On Friday, was the dog collar. It's the Christmas elf dog collar. You can make it in any size. You just measure your dog's neck and make enough triangles to fit around their neck. It's super fun. And it's a great idea for your Christmas cards when you don't want to wrestle your dog to the ground to get a sweater on them. And I always set them because it's got a little bell button, I always set them to my dog's size so I can just slide them right on their neck. Now, they're not in here today. They're both laying in there on the bed, and they're pouting at me because I made them come in because they wanted to play outside. We had a bunch of deer in our front yard this morning, and the deer are just used to us around here, and they wanted to go outside and play with the deer, and I wouldn't let them. And so they're mad at me. So they didn't want to come in here today. They're like little spoiled children. And so they're in my bedroom, laying on my bed, pouting. So they didn't model that. Another thing that I did yesterday, and let me pop this over to the roaming cam real quick so you can see this up close. This is, I called it originally the Christmas candy scarf, but when All Free Crochet added it to their website, they called it the candy cane scarf. And so I put Christmas candy or candy cane scarf, and it's really super easy to make. It's all done in double crochets, and it's just a stair-step pattern. And so I added that yesterday. It's a pattern I wrote like I think about 18 months ago, because I did it for Christmas in July 2 years ago. So anyway, it's a really super easy pattern, and I added that to the YouTube channel yesterday, and I think you'll really like that. It just comes out really pretty, and the truth is, I want to try it in, I bought like I think it's like Christmas colors in the cake yarn, and I want to try it in that as well, because it's just a stair-step pattern. You can do any colors you want. I think it'd be really pretty in bright green and pink and a bright white too. So anyway, you can do that one. Hello, Dana. Yeah, she says, hi, I'm late. It's okay. You know, if you just click in, it's okay, because you can always go back and watch it later. And I always put these on YouTube, so you can watch it on YouTube as well. All right, the other two patterns we have coming out this week is, this one is called the Santa Alarm. And you hook it on your door. And you can also hang it on your mantle next to your stockings. And I made these many years ago when we were in the military. We didn't live in a house that had a chimney. And my son was like, how am I going to know when Santa's been here, Mama? And so I made you make them, you just make rings, you hook it together, you put jingle bells, and the top ring hooks on the doorknob. And so when Santa sneaks in the door, if you don't have a chimney, you'll hear the door. You'll hear you'll hear the bells. But if Santa comes down the chimney and you've got this hanging on the mantle, he'll bang into it when he comes through. And so you'll hear Santa coming into the house. So it's called the Santa alarm door hanger. Super quick and easy pattern to make. This one won't take you very long. It won't stress you out, okay? And I just love it. And that one I'm hoping to get done either tomorrow or the next day. And then this one has been coming for a while. And this is my silly Christmas tree hat. I'm so excited about it. It's a super duper easy hat stitched in chunky yarn. And basically what I did is I used 2 strands because I couldn't find a chunky that has that sparkle. Look at that sparkle. And I just bought some glitter buttons and I made the star. And this is the same star that I have on my Christmas tree back there. That's the granny square Christmas tree. It's the same star. And so it's super easy to make. It's all stitched in double crochets and decreasing and super fun. This is single crochets down here. But anyway, that pattern is coming and I hope to get that done maybe Friday. And then of course, next month is our last month for our 6-inch granny square crochet along. And next month I'm really excited about. It turned out really pretty, but I'm not telling you about it yet. You can see it next Tuesday on our live video chat. And so basically that's all I've got for you today. And I just want to remind you, don't get stressed out. Do the best that you can. Go take a bubble bath and relax. Because one thing to remember is that, you know, like my family and friends, they know how much I crochet and do expect some Christmas crochet things. But if they love you, they'll understand that if you don't have enough time to get everything done. And then if you don't, put that stuff in the naughty tub like I do and work on it through the year and maybe have it for next year. Keep calm and crochet on.